everyone, and welcome back to the Shannasbooksnhooks Show. Now, first off, I know I'm wearing this shirt in a lot of my videos. I'm trying to record them within the same 1 to 2 day span, but that's just something we're dealing with right now. In this video, I wanted to talk about Fable versus StoryGraph, just because I feel like Fable is a really good reading tracker app, as well as a good bookish social media platform, and something that is truly more so bookish oriented. And it is both for books and TV shows, but I feel like it is real, like for the bookish aspect of it, it is solely focused on a bookish community, and it's a healthy community. It's not toxic, at least from what I've seen after about a month of using it. Excuse me. And I know in the title and the thumbnail I called this like, which one do I use more? And something I've noticed is that I kind of use them both equally, just for two different things, both bookish related, even though I do interact with like the TV show aspect of Fable. But I use them most, in the bookish aspect of it, I use them for two different things. The StoryGraph is mainly for tracking my reading and keeping up to date with that. And I do some tracking in the Fable app with my current reads and what I'm reading. I only started using Fable very early on in January, and it's getting to towards the end of February now. So I feel like close to 2 months was a good amount of time to evaluate. And like I said, I do use Fable for some tracking. I'm not as particular with tracking in the Fable app like I am with the StoryGraph app, just because I'm more used to keeping the StoryGraph up to date, and I do still prefer the StoryGraph as my main reading tracker and my main reading app, because it does have a lot of those distinguishers. Like, I can distinguish between audio, physical, and ebook. I can distinguish between ebook and audiobook rather than just digital. And it does have a lot of personalized recommendations based on what I'm reading, based on what I put on my TBR pile, based on what I've read. I'm still learning through Fable, and I think that is something that Fable also does, like giving recommendations. However, that is not something that I've encountered quite yet with Fable. It could come with more use of Fable. I do really like how Fable has the reading sprints, and I feel like that's really helped me stay on top of actually reading a little bit every day, even if it's only like 10-15 pages or even 1 page. It really has helped me stay on top of reading daily, because that is something that I always tried to do. I do kind of wish that Fable had a little bit more distinction between the different formats of book, but at the same time, that's not a deal breaker for me. And something else, again, this could come with more use of Fable, but something else I kind of wish would be factored in would be like recommendations for books based on shows you've liked, and recommendations for shows based on books you like. And I feel like that would be I feel like that could take some time to factor in with like the technological aspect. I know I say that a lot in my recent videos, because I know that like working on the back end of a website or an app, that can take some time, and it can take some time to factor in a new set of code or whatever it is, a new set of, like I said, code, to be able to factor in that kind of a feature. But I feel like that, like, I feel like it's such a simple thing I feel like I say that all the time, even though I'm not very technologically apt isn't the right word. I'm not very technologically savvy. Like, I know the basics, but I don't know, like, what would necessarily go into the coding of stuff. But I feel like it would be, in comparison to everything they had to do to set up the app, in comparison to everything they had to do to set up the app, I do feel like doing this one little feature would be relatively simple and easy to factor in. But again, like, I'm not acting like I know, because I do not know what goes into that. I do not know what goes into making an app, making a website. So yeah, I do know some of those technological processes, because my job, I do have to really do a lot of that back end stuff, but I'm not really setting anything up. So it's why I'm kind of saying it should be relatively easy, but again, I'm not super savvy with that. But that would be a really fun feature to have on the Fable app, because it does focus on both TV shows and books. So to have recommendations for one based on the other, I feel like that would be really interesting to see, and really useful to some extent, because there are a lot of shows that I like where I wouldn't necessarily find books similar to those ones, because, like, I'm not going to be actively looking for those books, because I have my certain genres of books that I like, and like vice versa, there are certain books that I like that maybe I wouldn't necessarily have found shows similar to that if I don't get like those kinds of recommendations, and 100% I could go out looking for those. I could go out looking for books that are like the shows that I like. I could go out looking for shows that are like the books that I like. But like at the same time, if you have like an app like Fable where it shows both books and shows, like, that would be a pretty fun feature to have. And I did mention too that like Fable is sort of similar to a social media platform, and I feel like it's a very niche one, in the sense that it is very specific to books and TV shows, rather than just being an all-encompassing social media platform like YouTube, like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. It's not a social media platform in the sense that, like the ones I mentioned, are. It's a social media platform that is specifically catered to readers and to people who want to find TV shows, TV show buffs, I'm not sure what to call you guys, which I feel bad, because I kind of include myself as part of that category, even though I don't watch. Well, I do have some cinema and show reactions up here on my channel, but I haven't, I don't feel like I talk about it enough. If I should do some more reactions to movies and shows, comment down below in the description, and I will do my best to do that. I actually have an idea for one I want to do in the near future. It just depends on when I get around to actually watching it or continuing it, because it's a show that I've started and I've watched like 90% of it, but I haven't watched it in order from start to finish. So anyway, if you want to see more cinema and TV show reactions, comment down below. But getting back on topic, I do really love and enjoy Fable. And I also do really love and enjoy the StoryGraph, but at the end of the day, I use them for two very different things, and they both have their uses, which I'm happy about. I'm going to continue using Fable. I might do like an updated version of this video later on in the year, so if that's something you would like to see, comment down below. I know this is a shorter video, kind of around 10 minutes, a little bit over, around 10 minutes. I don't know if it's over, not the point. But I know this was a shorter video, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.